Simba and I are in the Swedish Lapland, all the way east at the Finnish border, which is that river right there. It was a nice little stay on this spot. I used yesterday for editing and posting the last video, and this morning I washed myself and got into clean clothes. But now it's time to head on. We will drive west again towards the mountains. What a nice spot we found right here in the woods. We are not that far from the mountains now, the really big mountains. When I drove from east to west yesterday, from the lowland towards these mountains, I thought a lot about the Sápmi population of this area, the indigenous people of this Arctic region. And it was kind of a humbling experience to drive that stretch, and it felt completely like I was in another country. It didn't feel like Sweden at all. The names of the small villages and towns I drove through had names I wasn't sure how to pronounce. And I had, of course, looked at the map and studied the small roads, and almost all of the small roads are dead ends, and they end up in an area where you can see on the map that there are reindeer enclosures. So obviously it's the Sámi villages. And sure, there's parts of Sweden here. There is the roads, the railroads, the power plants, the Swedish villages with their churches. So yes, it is Sweden, but it's just these indigenous people have lived here since the ice from the last ice age started to disappear. And they have lived here in harmony with nature. And it's a humbling experience being here in their land. I will talk more about the Sami people later in this video. I just needed to bring it up now. It's such a big part of this whole experience. Completely epic camp spot. We just have to stay here. The valley we are in right now belongs to Sweden's largest mountain Sami community. So it seems fitting to talk a little bit more about the Sami people here. Their country stretches across the northern parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia's Kola Peninsula. There is not an exact number, but the estimate is that there is around 80 to 100,000 Sami people living in the whole area, and at least 20,000 of those live in Sweden. Sweden has a very dark history regarding the Sami people. Originally their land was much larger, but they were forced to give up land because of mainly mining and forestry. There we have again all the power plants and the railways. And it was not until in 1977 that they were recognized as a minority people here in Sweden. Sorry, indigenous people. Looks like there's more rain coming. I think I'll have to pack up before I continue. Originally, the Sami people were nomads. They have herded and domesticated reindeer for centuries, and they lived where the reindeer went. But then they were forced into what is called Sameby. It's the areas where they have their reindeer, and it's kind of like in America where the natives have their territories. Now only about 10% of the Sami people actually live of their reindeer. The rest is forced to seek income elsewhere. And there has been a historic dispute between the reindeer grazing areas and the Swedish landowners' logging rights and the forestry rights. But in 2011, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Sami, giving them common law rights to a specific area of land. But it really has been a history filled with abuses, racism and violation. For example, the children were put in special schools where they were forbidden to use their own language and were forced to learn the Swedish language. In 2021, the church made an official apology to the Sami people for the historical abuses. And the Swedish government announced that it was setting up a truth commission that will review the history of Sweden's politics towards the Sami and the effect of those politics have had on the Sami people. This assignment is still ongoing, runs until October 2026. But there is a lot of work being done now to preserve the Sami people's traditions, their language, their religion. And I'm going now. We are heading off. I'm going to show you a place that you absolutely have to visit if you are in this area. I'm now here outside the Ájtte museum in Jokkmokk. This is a museum about the Sami people, and it really is a must to go in and see this museum. This is not at all about all the horrors of history. This is about the people, their way of life, their traditions, their religion, the way they have lived in this harsh climate for thousands of years. Ájtte in the Sami language means storage hut, and I think it's a very fitting name for this museum, because they do exactly that. They store everything about their people. The exhibition is divided into different rooms, and each room has its own subject. In one room you can see all about their traditional clothes and what the different patterns mean. There is a lot about their art and their craftsmanship, also a lot about the mountain region and how they used everything from the reindeer and nature to live in harmony with nature. And also about their religion. They have several gods and goddesses, and the bear is sacred. And also everything is written in Swedish and in the Sami language and English. And what I take with me the most from this is that it really shows how they do everything they can to preserve what's left. And I think it's a very moving and touching experience to see all of this, because they, as I mentioned, don't dig into all the negative past. They really focus on them as a people and this Arctic mountain region. I really recommend this museum. I will of course link to it down below. Good morning from yet another fantastic camp spot. We have now been in the Swedish Lapland for a couple of weeks, and what an experience this has been. It has been everything I hoped for and dreamed of, and I guess you could say that this part of Sweden now has a special part of my heart. From this spot, from here on, Simba and I will start to head home, to go south again. So I'll end this video here, and as always, I hope you enjoyed following along this far. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.